My husband is a cold and aloof president. We've been married for 6 years, but we've been treating each other as coldly as ice. Once again he left me behind and went to Disneyland with his secretary. He even booked the whole fireworks show for her. I realized that he didn't belong to me after all. On the 3rd day after he came back, I took my son and left a divorce agreement and went abroad. However, his eyes turned red and he searched for me like crazy. Callan, tomorrow is the weekend. You promised Duo to accompany him to Disneyland. Don't arrange any work. During lunch I took a moment to send a WeChat message to my husband. We work in the same company. I'm on the 12th floor and he's on the 28th floor. The gap between us has always been so big. He didn't reply, but I wasn't surprised at all. Before this, he had broken his promise 4 times. Every time I saw the disappointed look in Duo's eyes I felt sad. Although I managed to coax the child with other gifts, after all, I couldn't play the role of his father. Half an hour later the screen of my mobile phone lit up. Are you teaching me what to do? Iris, remember your identity. Suddenly a suffocating feeling hit me through the screen. It felt like someone was choking my neck and I couldn't breathe. Right after that Callan's call came. Bring the 4th quarter report and come to my office. Without waiting for me to say anything he hung up the phone. I knew that he was angry again. Every time he asked me to go to his office he would use the excuse of work reports to scold me harshly. I took the materials and went to the 28th floor. When I arrived I heard laughter coming from inside. President Callan, is it true? Thank you, President Callan. You're the best. The woman thanked him exaggeratedly. I didn't need to look to know that it was his little secretary Luna. I couldn't wait to knock on the door and directly pushed it open. President Callan. The laughter stopped abruptly. The smile on Callan's lips hadn't had time to completely disappear. The moment he saw me his expression immediately turned as cold as ice. Iris, do you know why I called you here? Yes, President Callan wants to scold me. You should at least give me a reason. I put the materials on his desk and looked straight into his eyes. I don't think just a simple reminder could make you so angry. Iris, in the company, I'm your leader. We should keep public and private affairs separate. Understood. I nodded and for no reason a chill rose in my heart. Keep public and private affairs separate. What a joke. He could chat and laugh with his little secretary. Luna pushed Callan's shoulder beside him. President Callan, don't be angry with her. It's not worth it. Iris just isn't used to it. After all, you have a child and your husband and wife. However, in the company, Iris still needs to pay attention to the impact. I sneered inwardly and said faintly, you're right. Callan was a bit surprised. He didn't expect that I didn't object or even get angry. So he took the opportunity to ease the situation. All right, I'll make arrangements for tomorrow. You can leave first. I just wanted to get a definite answer. Since that was the case I didn't stay any longer. I put down the materials and turned to leave. Luna's laughter came from behind me. President Callan is really a good father. You got married so young. Otherwise what? Otherwise, I would definitely pursue you. You're so glib. Callan scolded with a smile. I couldn't bear to listen anymore and just left. After work I picked up Duo. When he heard that Callan didn't have work tomorrow he was so excited that he jumped 3 feet high. Really? Dad can finally go to Disneyland with me. The little guy kept talking about it all night and refused to go to sleep. Finally he couldn't resist falling asleep, and Callan didn't come home all night. When I woke up and saw the cold bedding beside me I was shocked. I quickly opened my phone and saw a message from Luna. Iris, President Callan has something urgent and went on a business trip. He won't be back until 3 days later. In her WeChat moments Luna didn't hide at all and posted a picture of the two of them. Her chin was resting on Callan's shoulder and she was hugging Callan from behind. At this moment I was completely disappointed in him. I've been with Callan for 10 years. When we first met he looked at me and said, "You look like my girlfriend." I smiled and looked at the group of men and women behind him and understood. Did you lose in a game of truth or dare? His face froze for a moment and then he repeated, "You look like my girlfriend." Let's add each other on WeChat. Just like that, somehow we added each other on WeChat. Later I found out that he really lost in a game of truth or dare, but he had a clear target and came straight to me. Callan said that at that time I was leaning against the window alone, looking a bit melancholy from the side, and he fell in love with me at first sight. Now only 10 years have passed and he's already impatient. I put away my phone and sighed in my heart. Callan, for the last time, I'll give you one last chance. The next morning when Duo learned that Callan was on a business trip, his eyes turned red. Dad can't accompany me again? Dad is too busy. He called me last night specifically to apologize to you. Mom will accompany you instead. Hearing this, Duo was still a bit disappointed. Callan had broken his promise too many times and Duo had been disappointed too many times. After packing up our things, the two of us set off. Fortunately, the amusement park was more attractive and the little guy was quickly distracted. I took the child to play all the way. Tiredness and happiness coexisted. Looking at Duo's smiling face, I thought it was worth being tired. However, one area in the park was closed. Duo was puzzled. Mom, why can't we play there? But there are still people going in. I took a look at the notice board at the entrance and found out that someone had booked the whole area. Probably someone is going to hold a large event there, so they booked the whole area. We can play other things. At this time the staff came out from inside talking as they walked. How extravagant. They booked the whole area just for a birthday celebration. Obviously, he's a president and willing to spend a lot of money for a beauty. Tisk, it's really frustrating to compare people with others. Seeing them walking farther and farther away, I took Duo to the amusement park store. Duo took a Mickey doll and took out his phone watch. Mom, I want to buy this and give it to Dad. I'll pay for it myself. Okay, Dad will surely be happy to receive it. Duo was so excited. After paying, he carefully put the gift back into his bag. We didn't leave until after the fireworks show in the evening. Seeing the fireworks rising into the sky, Duo asked me to take a video and send it to Callan. I took out my phone, took a short video and posted it on my WeChat moments. As a result, my friends left a lot of comments. Iris, how romantic. You two are an old married couple, and you even booked the whole fireworks show to make you happy. Sister, you're amazing. Callan is willing to spend a lot of money for you. Look, it's all over the internet. Teach me a few tricks so that my husband can also spend a lot of money for me once. I didn't know what was going on at all and was confused looking at these comments. When I refreshed it again, I saw Callan's WeChat moments post. Booked the whole fireworks show. It's worth it for her. At the same time, he also deliberately posted a video on Douyin. The kid said he wanted to see the fireworks. Arranged. The background in the video was exactly the closed area just now. My heart sank involuntarily. I replied uniformly, today I took Duo here to play. Callan is on a business trip. After replying, everyone was silent. When we got to the hotel and Duo fell asleep, I called Callan. The phone rang more than 10 times before it was answered. Callan's cold voice came, "What's the matter? Are you at Disneyland?" "Yes, I had some free time temporarily, so I came in to take a look around." Hearing this, I was about to expose him when Luna's voice came from inside. "President Callan, the food is getting cold." Callan quickly ended the conversation. "That's it. I'm hanging up." After he hung up the phone, I looked at the screen of my phone and smiled self-deprecatingly. Had some free time temporarily? Booking the whole area in Disneyland needs to be arranged in advance. Callan, your lie is really fragile. I shook my head and didn't even have the mood to question him. Mom, is it Dad? At this time, Duo rubbed his eyes and got up to look at me. My heart tightened and I quickly hugged him in my arms. It's not Dad. I coaxed him to sleep. Duo hugged my neck and murmured in my ear, I don't like Dad anymore. I couldn't help but have my eyes wet with tears. I can endure it, but why should Duo endure it too? Callan doesn't care about me or the child. Well, then I don't need to wrong myself to endure this cold relationship anymore. It's time to end it. During the 2 days of the weekend, I took Duo to have a good time around. Callan didn't make a single phone call. It wasn't until Monday when I sent the child to school and submitted my resignation report at the company that he called me. Iris, are you resigning? What are you doing? I said faintly, I want to spend more time with the child. Are you blaming me for not accompanying you to Disneyland? I'm on a business trip outside. I'm so busy all for the sake of this family. Yes, I know. That's why I'm resigning to take care of the family wholeheartedly. Callan was left speechless by what I said. A few seconds later, he threw out a sentence, whatever you want. After hanging up the phone, I asked a lawyer to draft an agreement and also put our house on the market through an agent. After finishing all this, I applied for Duo to transfer to another school. Before leaving, I went to the company to hand over my work. The HR manager looked at me and said sarcastically, "Oh, you're going back to be a housewife? What good fortune. You don't have to do anything. President Callan earns money and you spend it. Even so, you still want President Callan to take time to accompany you. You're so ungrateful. You're relying on others while being ungrateful. Only you can do that." I looked at her and sneered, "I'm Callan's wife. I may not be able to control him, but it's more than enough for me to deal with you. From now on, you're fired. Go to the finance department to settle your salary and get out." Her face immediately turned red. "Why? Just because I'm a shareholder? You were rude to a shareholder." She was choked and immediately became weak when she thought of my relationship with Callan. I didn't pay attention to her. After handing over my work, I immediately sold my shares to others. One of the conditions was to fire this woman. Callan wasn't around, which actually made it more convenient for me. After doing all these, I sent a message to Callan, "Let's get divorced." This time, his call came quickly. "Iris, what are you doing again? Is it just because I didn't accompany you when I was on a business trip?" "Yes, just because of this. If you think there's no problem with the agreement, just sign it." My voice was surprisingly calm. "I believe you'll be happier with Luna. After all, you booked the whole fireworks show for her, and even Duo has never enjoyed that." Hearing my words, he was stunned for a long time and then said, "I didn't think it through carefully. It was mainly for her birthday. I'll bring you gifts when I come back." "It's too late, Callan. The big bed in the hotel is so comfortable. You can sleep for a few more days." On the phone, his breath obviously stopped for a moment. "No. Listen to me explain. It was just an accident." Without waiting for him to speak, I hung up directly. There was a bed photo that Luna sent me on my phone. What kind of accident could make them sleep together? It couldn't be just because they were drunk. Even so, I didn't want to argue about it anymore. With so much favoritism before, they were already not innocent. I packed my luggage and took Duo on the plane to go abroad. On the way, Callan's calls came one after another, but I didn't answer any of them. After getting on the plane, I took out the phone card and threw it into the trash can. Goodbye, Callan. For the first stop abroad, I took Duo to the Chinese community, bought a house and found a new school for him. Duo seemed to sense something and stopped asking where his father was. However, after a week, when he came back from school, he finally couldn't help asking, "Mom, isn't Dad coming? We've been here for a week already." Duo was 7 years old. Although it was cruel to let him know the truth, I still wanted to tell him. "I broke up with your father. If Duo misses Dad, I can take you to see him." But Duo shook his head and said, "No need." He went back to his room with red eyes and shut me out. I always felt something was wrong. Duo was still a child and couldn't hide his emotions at all. I frowned tightly and walked out of the house to the neighbors across the street. When I came back, I found out that Duo had talked to Callan on the phone on the third day after we moved into the new home. The person who answered the phone told him that Callan already had a new partner and would have other children in the future. I was instantly furious. Except for Luna, I couldn't think of anyone else who would say such things. How nice. I hired a lawyer to file a lawsuit and couldn't wait to give Callan a hard time. As for Luna, I also left her a big gift and reported her by real name directly. Big companies, especially the one where Callan worked, attached great importance to the influence of their employees. For senior executives like Callan, being involved in messy relationships between men and women was fatal to them. Sure enough, Callan and Luna were exposed for having an affair during their marriage. As the legal wife, I was so angry that I went abroad directly. The legal department of the company couldn't get in touch with me, and domestic netizens made a big fuss. Men go bad when they have money. It's always been like this since ancient times. This woman is his secretary? How did she get into the company with a degree from a third-rate university? When I applied for the job and failed, the reason given to me was that the boss didn't think I was attractive enough. Oh, I see. Callan didn't like you but liked her. So the recruitment was just to find a mistress for himself. Fun fact, the fireworks show reserved by Disney was paid for by this man for his mistress. His wife and son were also there that day and didn't know anything about it. How dramatic. He didn't even care about his child. Callan's Douyin account was also dug out, and the video of the fireworks show on that day became evidence. And my WeChat moments were also exposed by some familiar friends. Netizens became even more sympathetic towards me. Callan's personal platforms were under attack and Luna's background was also dug out. These two became like rats crossing the street, being shouted at and beaten by everyone. When I saw the scene online I couldn't help sneering. Finally, after a month, Callan got in touch with me through a lawyer. Iris, let's talk. If it's not about divorce, then don't talk. Callan was extremely nervous. No. I want to talk to you about the divorce, but, can we not get divorced? I found it funny. Callan, we've been together for 10 years. What makes you think that I can't live without you? You put me at the grassroots level, under the pretext of not asking for special treatment, but you let a graduate from a third-rate university enter the company to be your secretary. Have you ever considered those outstanding talents who were competing at the same time in the company's future planning? You broke your promise to Duo and stood him up several times. Have you ever considered the child's feelings? You had an affair with Luna and spent millions on her. Have you ever thought that you are a married man? You don't deserve to be a manager, a father, or my husband. My 3 consecutive questions made Callan breathe rapidly. He quickly defended himself. I didn't cross the final line with her. I was just drunk and she helped me change my clothes. As for the fireworks show, it was her birthday that day. Coincidentally, General Manager Chiu, a big client, was also there. I set off the fireworks to please them. I'll apologize to Duo. I sneered, you've apologized too many times. Either sign the papers or wait for the subpoena. I hung up the phone. I wanted to block him at first, but when I thought that we still had to talk about the divorce I held back. It's not just physical infidelity that counts as cheating. Mental wandering is also a betrayal. I took a deep breath and buried myself in finishing the paper in my hand. I had more important things to do. Before I left, I contacted a professor and asked him to write a recommendation letter for me. During this period, I was busy attending classes and writing papers, and my life was fulfilling and intense. With my encouragement, Duo gradually became more cheerful and made a lot of friends, especially the 2 children from the neighbors across the street. They went to school and came back home together with Duo. When I was busy, I would leave Duo at their home. In a blink of an eye, a month had passed and Callan finally came after me. On Friday, school ended early. I picked Duo up from school. As soon as we arrived at the door of our house, we saw Callan standing there. I didn't know where he had found out my address. We hadn't seen each other for over a month. He had lost a lot of weight and his clothes looked a bit loose on him. The moment he saw me, his eyes turned scarlet and he rushed over immediately. Iris, you're so cruel. You abducted my son to abroad. What's your intention? Abduct? I'm his mother. I brought him abroad to seek a better education. How can you say it's abduction? I said coldly, Callan, the court session is coming soon. What else do you have up your sleeve? Hearing this, he couldn't help taking a deep breath. Iris, I know you're angry, but there's still room for us. The child is still young. Don't always bring the child into this. I don't need to say more about what you and Luna did. I showed him my phone. Look, I have all the evidence here. Actually, I should thank her. She posts on WeChat moments every day. Your preference for her and every little detail of your time together, I know all about it. It's not just me. Everyone in the company knows it clearly. I can explain. It was all just playing along. I waved my hand that I don't need your explanation. Anyway, just sign the divorce papers and that'll be it. Even without Luna, your feelings for me had already changed long ago, hadn't they? Every time I wanted to sit down and have a detailed talk, he was always impatient. I still remembered 3 months ago when I saw Luna and him wearing couple watches. I was already heartbroken at that time that I had bought that pair of watches too. When I gave him the men's watch, he just glanced at it and frowned. Iris, we work in the same company. Office romances are not allowed in the first place. Do you want to announce it to the whole world now? I took it back silently, just thinking that he was too rigid and didn't know how to be flexible. It was just a watch. There was no need to be so serious. But the next day, I saw Luna and him wearing the couple watches. That watch was exactly the same as the one I bought. Suddenly I understood. It wasn't that he was being strict about avoiding suspicion. It was that I didn't deserve it. Even Duo was ignored by him. At this time, Duo was also looking at him and didn't say a word for a long time. Callan squatted down and took Duo's hand. Duo, don't you recognize Dad? Dad, are you going to have another baby? Callan was stunned for a moment. How could that be? Dad only has Duo. Duo looked at me and didn't speak. I ignored him and turned around to go inside. He still wanted to follow me in. I turned around and looked at him. Breaking into a private house. Here, I have the right to use weapons. He couldn't believe it at once, but I didn't care at all. I pulled Duo in and closed the door. Callan stood outside and kept knocking on the door. I thought he would compromise, but unexpectedly he was quick. He immediately rented the house next to mine. That morning when Duo got up and looked out of the window, he said, "Mom, is that Dad?" He pointed outside the window, and we saw Callan standing outside the fence, looking at me obsessively. I took a deep breath. He's come to see you. Do you want to meet him? Duo thought about it and nodded. Then he got dressed. When Callan saw him come out, he immediately hugged him in his arms. Duo's first sentence was, "Dad, I sent you the nice fireworks I took that night. Did you see them?" Callan was like being struck by lightning and couldn't say a word with his mouth opening and closing. After a long while, he said, "Yes, I saw them. The ones Duo sent were really nice. Then, I bought a Mickey doll and gave it to you. Did you receive it?" Hearing this, he looked confused. I reminded him, "I put it in your office. I didn't see it." He immediately realized that probably someone had hidden it. Duo was a bit disappointed and lowered his head. Callan pretended to suddenly understand. "I remember now. I put it in the car. Thank you, Duo." Duo was young but not stupid, such clumsy acting couldn't deceive him. At this time, Callan's cell phone rang. After answering it, a familiar voice came from inside. "President Callan, there's a problem with the client. You need to come over now." Callan said coldly, "Why do I have to handle everything? What's the point of the company paying you? If you can't handle it, resign as soon as possible and don't do it anymore." After hanging up the phone, he looked disgusted and then turned around to show a smile when looking at us. I could tell that it was Luna's voice on the other end of the phone. In the past, when he was with us and received a call from Luna, he would lose his mind and rush over immediately. Now it was strange that he would say such things. But I didn't care. It had nothing to do with me. Callan offered to take Duo to school and the little guy didn't refuse. I also drove behind them. When we arrived at the school, I went directly to another destination. Callan wanted to say something when he saw me leave but held back. When I finished my work for the day and took Duo back home, I saw Luna. She was really bold. She was holding Callan's hand and they were watering the garden together. Duo was sitting in the passenger seat. When he saw the scene, he pinched my hand. "Mom, who is she?" I didn't answer but took Duo out of the car. Seeing this, Callan quickly let go of his hand and a look of loneliness flashed across Luna's face. "You're back? Let's have dinner together tonight." Luna quickly said, "I'll cook. President Callan isn't in good health. The company asked me to come and take care of him." I didn't expose her but just nodded. "Okay, thank you." Luna's face darkened immediately and then she put on a smile. "It's okay. It's what I should do." Duo held my hand and whispered, "Mom, it's her voice. She's the one who said Dad would have another baby last time. Don't be afraid. Your mom's only baby." Duo and I went inside together. Callan played puzzles with him while I went to wash my hands. When Luna saw me, her face was full of resentment. "Are you proud of yourself? If you want to leave, then go far away. Why let people find any clues? You let Callan come after you. It's just a trick of playing hard to get." I raised my eyebrows. "I already gave the divorce agreement to Callan. There's nothing I can do if he doesn't sign it. Since you're so capable and can come after him, do me a favor and persuade him to sign the agreement." She was so angry that her face turned livid. I sneered and washed my hands, then walked straight to the sofa, crossed my legs and looked at her, reminding her, Duo doesn't eat spicy food. Please pay attention when Secretary Lin cooks." Callan also turned around and told her, "Make it light." Luna had no choice but to swallow her anger. After half an hour, the meal was served. Duo took a bite of the ribs and spat it out with a paw. Luna's face immediately darkened. Callan asked carefully, "What's wrong? It tastes so bad. It's not as good as Mom's cooking." Luna carefully explained aside, "Perhaps it's because I haven't cooked for a long time and I'm out of practice." "Then why did the company send you to take care of Dad? You can't even cook a decent dish." After saying that, Duo winked at me. The little guy just wanted to vent his anger. I smiled and picked up some vegetables for him with my chopsticks. "Eat this." Duo has always been taken care of by me, and he's only used to the dishes I cook. Outsiders are just outsiders. "I'm really sorry." Luna clenched her chopsticks tightly. Callan didn't know what was on his mind either, but a hint of guilt appeared on his face. "Sorry." I interrupted him, "There's no need to say sorry anymore. In front of the child, enough is enough. After this meal, we'd better not meet again." Callan got anxious, "You can't deprive me of my right to be a father." "Enough. Callan, there are some things that I don't need to mention, but you should be clear about them. The public opinions in China probably haven't been completely cleared up yet. There's no need to play the scene of chasing after your wife when it's too late anymore. Moreover, she has already chased after you, hasn't she?" I raised my chin to indicate to him. Luna's appearance also made me understand that the relationship between her and Callan hadn't ended completely. The company just asked the two of them to be suspended from work temporarily and undergo inspections. As for other things, the company didn't say much. After all, Callan's abilities were obvious to all. If he wanted to keep Luna, he could do it. However, it was really disgusting that he tried to stabilize me while still holding Luna's hand and playing the love game with her. After saying that, I left with Duo. Callan quickly followed behind. "Sorry. I didn't fall for it." Callan still came to look for me every day without fail, but Duo didn't let him pick him up or send him off. He persisted for a week and still didn't leave, but I was already a bit impatient. I sent a message to Luna, "Is this all you've got? You still haven't fixed it yet?" Luna looked at me with a venomous look in her eyes. I knew she was angry but seemed to have no way to deal with it. At this moment, Callan seemed to receive a phone call and rushed back in a hurry. Before leaving, he didn't forget to send me a WeChat message, "I'll be back." I didn't reply. About half a month later, the lawyer told me that Callan agreed to the divorce. I immediately got ready and arranged the time to fly back to China with Duo as soon as possible. The moment I saw Callan, I almost couldn't recognize him. It had only been half a month since we last saw each other, but he had changed a lot. He still looked the same in appearance, but his eyes were empty and there were bruises on his face. When he saw me, Callan couldn't help but smile bitterly. When he saw Duo again, he couldn't help but cover his face. Duo didn't say anything. Callan said in a hoarse voice, "You got what you wanted. Congratulations. You've finally gotten rid of me." I shook my head. "Callan, it's not fair to put all the blame on me for everything. And it's not my fault in the first place." Callan was silent and signed the papers with me. His hands were still shaking. I was really afraid that he would regret it. "Remember to get the divorce certificate then. Don't worry. It won't take long." While he was speaking, Luna came in supporting her belly. My heart skipped a beat. "Is she pregnant?" As soon as I said this, Duo immediately raised his head to look at Callan. "Dad, you said I would be your only baby. You lied to me. So what she said that day was true. You don't want me anymore. You're all bad guys." Callan's face immediately showed panic. "That day? What do you mean by that day?" I took over the conversation. "Duo called you before." It was Luna who answered the phone. "She said you wouldn't want Duo anymore because you would have other children." Duo couldn't help crying when he looked at Callan. I hugged Duo and left without looking back. Callan roared heartbreakingly from behind, "Iris! Iris!" I coaxed Duo and took him away. 1 month later, we got the divorce certificate. This time, Luna appeared with him. And the company fired Luna on the grounds of bad reputation. Callan was removed from his position as the chairman and had to retreat behind the scenes and could only be a dividend shareholder. The moment she saw me, Luna couldn't help but have a bloodshot look in her eyes. "You got what you wanted. Now you've got most of the property. Luna and I have to start all over again." I shrugged. "Isn't this what you wanted? You got what you wished for. I gave you the person. True love conquers all." She was so angry that she gritted her teeth but had no way to deal with it. I sneered. "One reaps what one sows." She asked for all this and she has to deal with it even if she has to kneel down. After I got the divorce certificate, I got a large sum of money. Calculating it, I had about 50 million yuan in hand. This was enough for Duo and me to live a good life abroad. Luna immediately went to get the marriage certificate with Callan. Seeing that the two of them were tied together completely, I couldn't help but smile calmly. But it wasn't over yet. "Callan, I won't let you off easily for your indifference towards me and the harm you caused to Duo. Some friends in China contacted me again. After learning that I got divorced from Callan, they took the initiative to tell me the latest news. I only did one thing. I asked them to persuade Callan to start a business. There was no other reason. I just wanted them to lose the little money they had left. I'm not a kind-hearted person. I just thought that Luna had gone too far by saying such things to Duo. Don't blame me for being rude." 3 months later, my friend excitedly told me, "Iris, don't even mention it. We didn't even need to persuade her. Luna herself wanted to start a business. The overall environment isn't good these days. Starting a business isn't that easy. Besides, the two of them have such a bad reputation. Although the company was set up, there's no business at all. Luna graduated from a third-rate university and doesn't have much ability. She always shows off her power just because she's Callan's wife and tries to give orders in the company. The people recruited by Callan are all really talented. How could they put up with her?" After several conflicts, they didn't take her seriously at all. But Luna didn't want to let it go and wanted to fire them. Callan didn't agree, and the two of them started arguing. As a result, Luna actually hit Callan. Callan got angry too and slapped her, which caused her to miscarry. My friend excitedly told me this on the phone. I couldn't help raising my eyebrows. Callan did keep his promise after all. Duo is still his only child, at least for now. After Luna had a miscarriage, Callan insisted on getting a divorce. The two of them quarreled bitterly over this. Luna's family members were no easy ones. They not only sucked blood from Callan but also demanded a large sum of money from him before they were willing to let go. "Iris, he's nothing without you. He played a good hand very poorly. If he had known this would happen, why did he do it in the first place? I just smiled and didn't say anything when I heard this. My friend asked again, when do you plan to come back? At first, I went abroad just to stay away from that couple. Now that we're divorced, it's time to come back, right? I shook my head. I haven't finished my studies yet. I won't come back until at least Duo graduates. My friend exclaimed immediately, your studies? Yes, I still need to further my studies in my major. Wait. The moment I come back will be the time when you pledge your loyalty to me. My friend joked, okay, I'll definitely wait for you. After hanging up the phone, I gradually blocked all the news about Callan and them. Although my friend kept telling me about them, I didn't pay attention anymore. After a long time, they stopped talking about it. After all, there are many meaningful things in my life besides Callan. 6 years later, I took Duo back to China. After graduating, I registered a company abroad, applied for patents, and then came back to China with a vengeance. My friend had already set up a startup company here. This time when I came back, it was just the right time for cooperation. This is a new industry. When I came back, I quickly became very popular. My friend put his arm around my shoulder and sighed with admiration. The years you spent abroad were really worthwhile. Just the patent usage fees and copyrights when you come back are enough for you to live on for the rest of your life. If Callan knew about this, he would be so regretful. Hearing this name again, I felt a bit dazed. When I was with him before, he always thought I was useless and put me at the grassroots level. But I didn't take it seriously. Gold will always shine. Callan never knew that I could also shine brightly in my own field. After I came back, I took a short break and then started a large-scale lecture tour. When I was standing on the stage as the keynote speaker, I saw a figure quietly entering at the back of the venue from a distance. Upon closer inspection, it was actually Callan. When he saw me, his eyes couldn't help but flicker. The moment our eyes met, Callan opened his mouth but didn't say anything. And I smiled calmly. There were an endless stream of people asking questions during the lecture, and I answered them one by one. As soon as I finished speaking, everyone still wanted more. Finally, I managed to get out of the crowd. My friend took me to have dinner. In addition, several shareholders of listed companies invited me. If the negotiation was successful, the company could quickly reach a higher level. I didn't refuse. Just as I was walking over, Callan stopped me. Iris. Before he could say anything, he was stopped by others. I went to the hotel with my friend. He quickly shouted, Iris. Don't you have anything to say to me? I shrugged. For a moment, I couldn't think of anything to say to him. I shook my head. Sorry, I have nothing to say. My friend sneered beside me. I said, Callan, things are different now. Iris isn't someone you can match up with anymore. And how did you get into the venue? I don't remember sending you an invitation. His face immediately turned pale. I ignored him and walked past directly. My friend sneered, he and Luna are still entangled with each other. They're really in a mess. I smiled and didn't say anything. I respect and bless his choice. During this dinner, we signed a contract worth tens of billions of yuan. My friend couldn't stop smiling. I settled him down before leaving. Unexpectedly, Callan was waiting in the parking lot. When he saw me, he immediately rushed over. He startled me. Can I see Duo? It's been 6 years. I miss him so much. Iris, even though we're divorced, I'm still Duo's father. I thought about it and made a phone call. Honey, is Duo there? He's asleep. When will you be back? Half an hour. See you later. I said to Callan, Duo is already asleep. Let's arrange it another day. But Callan's focus was on my way of addressing. Who is he? You have a man now. How could you have another man? He was a bit hysterical. I thought it was funny. Why not? I'm a normal woman. I've been abroad for 6 years and I'm single. Isn't it normal to find a man? And I'm planning to marry him. I came back to China this time to get married. Duo is growing up well under his care. You don't need to worry about that. Callan staggered a few steps when he heard this and then smiled bitterly. I missed it. I missed it. Iris, you're really something. After saying that, he turned around and ran. He even fell down when turning a corner and then quickly got up and ran away. I shook my head. Since that's the case, I won't force it. After all, I didn't plan to let Duo have much contact with him in the first place. We've lived a good life in the past 6 years. My boyfriend and I have already registered abroad. This time when we came back to China, we're going to get the marriage certificate. Now our family of 3 is happy and content. I'm very satisfied. Having a husband and a son, I'm satisfied with everything. As for Callan, let's never see each other again and wish each other well.